Okay, I welcome all of you to this session number 7 of 90th batch of ISTD PG Diploma program. I hope all of you doing well. Last week I was not available because of some personal emergency, and the class before that we had a session on outbound training. I guess you had a lot of fun, lot of takeaways, lot of exercises, lot of games were played, and I believe that you have bagged some takeaways from that session. Anyone who can just affirm, anyone who can just give me a response. How was the previous session on outbound? Any learnings from that? Am I audible to everyone? Anika, Manpreet ji, Sarika, Rahul, Shivai.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir, you're
Okay.
audible.
Any
Just
any takeaways from the last session? Meaning last week, literally I was not there. Last session in the sense the session previous to that.
I'm sorry I didn't attend the session. I'll have to go through the recording, so I can't comment on this right now.
Okay, fine.
it
Anyone
was quite
who
engaging. Uh, we did lot of activities, and it just gave us a perspective as to how simple activities can have very powerful debriefs related to it, and can have a deeper connection to the content and
very
our general surroundings as such.
thank you, Anika. So today's session is on simulation, and we have a live case before us, a live exercise before us, which all of us will work on. Before that, what is simulation? What is simulation method of training, or what is simulation in general? Any one of you? Okay, simulation is the process of creating natural settings, or it's a process of creating artificial setting which resembles the real one. I repeat, simulation is a process of setting up an artificial entity which resembles the actual one, or which resembles the original one. For example, if you have taken driving classes from Maruti school, they make you sit in a cubicle or a workstation like room. They will ask you to ride, and is very similar. Uh, it's very similar to someone who's driving on the actual road, wherein you will come to know regulations, driving speed, precautions to be taken, and so on. Anyone who can comment a little on simulation? How does it work? What is its importance? How is it created? Or its meaning in general?
Same thing we can see that in the army training also.
Yes, in army, in Air Force. Yes. Please go ahead.
So they will create a scenario or artificial environment, so it is resemblance to the actual environment. So how will going to take on or maybe do if the such things proceed or occurred. So,
Right. Thank you. Thank you. That's right. That's right. What is its importance? Why do we need simulation?
I think whenever the the stakes are high, as in the equipment or whatever device that you're supposed to be operating, if in case of an accident, it'll cost a lot. So we create a simulator so that people are trained well on the actual system before operating the
Very,
machinery.
very nice. Good. Very appreciable. Right. So I'm here to take you through simulation training. It will just not be theoretical, it will be hands-on. You will be given with a live exercise to work on, and you will have to come out with the solution. You will have to configure various settings, various parameters. You will have to calibrate some things. Okay, in a short while from now, we will work on that exercise. Okay, before that, just a few examples of simulation training. As it was already discussed, it is done in Army, it is done in Indian Air Force, it is done in Maruti driving school. It is one classic example that all of you must note is all of you have traveled in a Volvo bus anytime, at least
Yes,
once.
sir.
Have you
Yes, sir.
boarded? Yeah, I'm sure all of you have boarded Volvo bus at least once in your lifetime so far. Okay,
Yes.
how is Volvo different from other buses?
Comfort level is much better than the other.
Comfort is superior.
Uh,
Comfort is much high. Okay. Okay, these drivers who take you in these Volvo buses are subjected to special training that Volvo has set up at a place called Mysuru in Karnataka. They have a world-class training center at Mysuru, Karnataka, and it works on simulation. It also works on real time. Volvo buses are very comfortable to sit, but they're very difficult or complex to drive because of hundreds of features. And the conditions under which Volvo bus has to run vary according to seasons. So these drivers are taught how to drive a Volvo bus during monsoon season, during winters, in ghats, and various other terrains. So they are subjected to special training, and simulation method is extensively used here so that the uh, these drivers do not make big mistakes or fatal mistakes. Okay, that is one real time example. Of course, in Indian Army, of course, in Indian Air Force, because as I think Anika said, the stakes are very high, the risk element is very high. Something big is to be operated. Before that, there has to be a pre-hand experience. So simulation works there. Okay, fine. Any one of you who has undertaken or who has been a part of any simulation training? The simulation is extensively used in cricket as well. For example, this bowling machine, which it keeps dropping balls at the batsman to prepare the batsman to face spin or high pace. There is a bowling machine which continues to ball at 140, 150 kilometers, and it's a simulation. It's just like a bowler, it's a replica of the bowler, and a ball comes from a particular height, and the batsman is ready to face. The batsman will face these deliveries, these balls at a certain speed, so that he becomes equipped to face the bowler on the ground. So it has got various applications. Today's session is how simulation method of training can be used in the domain of climate change and global warming. What can the management members, what can the management do? What can the policy makers do? What can we as HR people, as trainers do for this larger cause called the climate change and global warming? This takes me to a point where I want to ask a question. What is climate change? Any one of you? What is climate change? We will have some, we will spend some time on this, say 5 to 7 minutes. What is climate change and global warming?
Sir, climate change is like today's sunny day and sudden day, raindrops started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unexpected weather conditions, you mean to say?
Yeah, and yes, conditions change suddenly. And so we
Okay.
just say like climate change and global
Okay.
warming,
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
So, actually, climate change is something which is like the change in temperature and change in weather or change in seasons. So, but then when it comes to global warming, it is like usage of lot of vehicles due to pollution and all. The earth is being heated up, so
Yes.
because of the high temperature concerns, and the poles are like the freezing conditions have been changed. So there's a time that the globe gets warmed,
Yes.
so which is also called as the greenhouse effect.
Very nice. Very nice. Nice.
It is the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere,
Yes.
which ultimately leads to increase of average temperature year on year.
Right. Right. Right.
Sir, it means this is a disruption in the climatic pattern.
Disruption in the climatic
Huh,
pattern.
it is
Okay.
the span of the summer and span of the winter and the intensity of the wind, cold and intensity of the hotness.
Right. 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 Anybody else? Because today's simulation is on the same thing. Okay. I don't know if you are aware of this. There is a special agreement called as the Paris Agreement, which was signed in the year 2015, where all the leading countries have agreed upon a point, and the point is that we cannot afford to have the average surface temperature rise by 1.5 degree Celsius, meaning from the times of industrialization, meaning from 18th century. Suppose the average surface temperature is 25. The moment it becomes 26.5, it is likely to throw a lot of challenges to humankind, and it will make the conditions worse. It will make the conditions um, uncongenial, non-human friendly, or conditions become worse. So climate change is when there is a lot of change in the climate, meaning it's heating up. As you all said, we are emitting a lot of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur, methane. Because these gases are in the atmosphere, they are trapping a lot of heat, and because of this, once upon a time, this heat was absorbed, this carbon was absorbed by trees. Now we have lost a lot of green cover, hence the heat remains there. The heat is not trapped, as a result of which we experience hotter summers we experience temperature rise. When there is temperature rise at a point, when there is temperature at point 1, 2, 3, 4, the entire globe gets heated up. This phenomenon is called as global warming, meaning the whole globe is getting warmer. Suppose the global average temperature rises by 1.5 degrees. The consequences are dire, fatal, especially for humankind. Today, the onus is on us to awaken, to awaken, to sensitize, to educate people on this particular issue, because this is a common enemy. Suppose we don't encounter this common enemy together, the losses are huge and fatal. Extreme climate events will be more frequent, like extreme rainfall, extreme drought, food crisis, heat stroke. When the temperature rises beyond a certain level, agricultural pattern will change, and there will be severe food crisis. So we as trainers are expected to develop special training modules on this, and we as trainers are expected to train people on this issue, so that at individual level, at personal level, we take care of our individual carbon footprints, and together we can do something for our mother nature. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
What can we do is something for today's discussion. I am hereby, just a minute, just give me a minute. I'll share a link in the chat window. I request all of you to uh, copy this link in a separate browser, on a separate browser, and then open that link, because if you open this link here, you may lose this class, or you may lose your presence from here. So here is the chat window. You may miss out on this session. So here is the link. It is very interesting, and that is something for today's discussion. Okay, so we are using simulation board to work on this real-time case study. So simulation can be used for various purposes as discussed before. So let's see how simulation can be utilized for understanding the climate change pattern and to work on this case. Okay, I will share my screen now. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see my screen here? It is very interesting. It is very, very interesting. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. I
Yes.
opened this
Oh,
link
okay.
and
Okay. Take your time. Take your time. Understand each and every dimension. Understand each and every entity, each and every parameter which is mentioned here. Okay. These parameters are extracted from various business players, various business sectors like manufacturing, service, be it anything. You will invariably find the application of these parameters in any business for that matter. Now, our target, on your right hand side, on the right hand side of the screen, there is a digit mentioned. which says plus 1.3. My target will be to reduce this. Suppose I can play around this, you see, I can calibrate the settings here and see there is subsequent decrease. There is subsequent change. Okay, now we will understand each and every parameter here. Energy supply. You know, it is very clear that we largely depend on traditional sources of energy. Coal is used to generate electricity. This is known to you. Natural gas is an energy source. Oil is a commodity, for example, crude oil, petroleum. When we burn this fossil fuel, this crude oil in the form of petrol and diesel, we emit a lot of carbon. So nuclear energy, you all know what is nuclear energy. Nuclear energy also emits a lot of heat. Natural gas, this is another petroleum product. Bioenergy, for example, it can be solar energy. Bioenergy is not solar energy. Bioenergy is the energy that is generated from biological sources, like the energy that is generated from cow dung, methane, which can be used for cooking. Okay, then all these renewables, renewable is solar energy, nuclear energy. New zero carbon is an entity which basically talks about green energy, which has least or zero impact on influence, which does not emit any carbon back to the environment. That is called as new zero carbon. A carbon price is the cost that people pay as a result of we generating greenhouse gases, or we emitting chlorofluorocarbons. For example, I find myself very comfortable in an AC room. I start my AC, I run my AC, the room becomes very, very comfortable. But then this is emitting chlorofluorocarbons back to the environment, the brunt of which is on common man, meaning it is emitting a lot of carbon back to the environment. So the public is paying price for this. That's called as carbon price. The price that people pay as a result of increased carbon emission. Public health is at stake. Okay, energy efficiency. For example, do we use energy efficient vehicles? Electrification. Now during those days of using steam engine, steam locomotives, for example, trains. Now there is electrification of trains, so there is no emission. There was a time when we used to burn coal, generate steam, and then run our trains. If you have seen the movie Sholay, this scene is very, very evident there. Okay, energy efficiency. Are we using LED lights? Are we using the outdated bulbs which emit a lot of heat and also are not very energy efficient? And population, the next parameter. As population goes up, the temperature only goes up because every human being emits carbon. Okay, and the earth, or the space or areas, cities will become overcrowded. Now if the population goes up, demand for natural resources naturally goes up. More water, more space. When we want more space, obviously we encroach the forest lands, we convert them to we make them residential plots. as a result of which a lot of forest cover is lost. Economic growth. We are so crazy about this economic growth, We want our economy to be the first highest, second highest, third highest, fourth, fifth, and so on. But this massive expansion of economy is coming with a cost. We're very happy that we are the third fastest growing economy in the world. But we have a price to pay. Our rainfall pattern is varying. Our environmental conditions, our ecological balance is disturbed. Our conditions of living are getting worst. We are playing with the nature. Massive infrastructure, highways, okay, all fine. But this is coming at a cost. For example, highways absorb a lot of heat and they emit back to the environment, as a result of which the entire area becomes hotter and conditions become unlivable. So this massive economic growth is coming at a cost. Okay, left ignored, we have dire consequences to face. Okay, then land, food, industry emission. Deforestation is cutting off trees, methane and other gases. We are very happy that we have got agriculture. We are very happy that dairy farming is improving. But all these have a albino or a domino effect. Albino effect meaning they have side effects. For example, dairy farming emits a lot of carbon because methane is the byproduct of dairy farming, and methane, when escapes into the environment, only heats up the environment, and so on. Technological factors. Technology is good. With the better use of technology, we can actually control climate. How? Suppose I was to take a physical class. I travel, I take a flight, so I'm contributing to the pollution. You all come from various places. All of you will travel at a common place. So you have spent energy, you have spent fuel, you have spent time, and when we come to the room, probably it's very hot. We want an AC room, so we are emitting chlorofluorocarbons. Instead, we are using technology, and we are not emitting carbon, and we are trying to have an eco-friendly mode to learn something. So these are the various parameters. Now the task for you is you have to calibrate these parameters and you have to bring down this temperature to 1.5 or probably less than that. But one thing is very, very prominent. One thing is very logical. You know what is that? You cannot zero down, you cannot freeze all these dimensions, because we cannot say the entire business has to be shut, only then the temperature will come down. No, it is not logical, it is illogical, it is impractical, and it is improbable as well. You cannot ask the entire country to close down. All the businesses have to run, but these businesses have to become sustainable and eco-friendly. So what are the policies that you will have in place? So this is a simulation board exercise. This is a simulation board exercise. You will have to play around with this, and then you have to bring down this temperature, and you have to present your case to all of us. Why did you make this change? And one more thing is, in case you can assume that you are the chairman, you are the board member for your respective organization, what changes will you bring? What changes will you bring about in your business using all these parameters? For example, will you ask all your people to get electric vehicles? Will you use LED lights? Will you not be very crazy about profit? Will you use bioenergy? Will you go for tree plantation? Will you use more of technology? Will you go for solar electrification for your building? So what will you do for your organization? That is the best way to understand this simulation exercise. Are you all there with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did you understand this board? Did you understand this platform? So can you calibrate, can you make some settings and bring this temperature down to 1.2 or 1.3 or even 1? You can use this link, copy this link onto another browser, make the changes there, and then share your screen to present your case. Is this innovative? Is this good?
Yes, sir. Finds interesting. But it is already plus 1.3
Yes.
degrees Celsius.
It is
So,
already, yeah, what you can do is you can just calibrate, you can just rework, for
okay.
example, and then bring it back. It's like that puzzle, you know, do you disturb the puzzle and it's like it's that game, what is that called, as cube?
Yeah,
It's like
Cubic's
that
cube.
cube. It's like that cube.
Okay, so plus 1.3 degrees Celsius should be the same, but we need to change the settings.
Come back, change the settings, come back to 1.3 with your ideas. What will you make for your organization? How will this suit for your organization?
Super. Okay, sir.
Is everyone clear on the task?
But this highly taxed and highly subsidized uh, portion, like when we're moving the cursor on coal and other energy resources, it's showing highly taxed, highly subsidized. Does that mean the subsidies that government or should provide for these resources?
No. When you take it to the right hand side, when you take it to the right hand side, it means you're increasing
Increasing the usage.
usage.
Okay. Okay.
क्या हो गया? हाँ, मर गया वो, मर गया.
Sarika ji, you are so I will okay, please take your time, work on this, and
So the simulator is not working as I'm using a mobile phone.
okay, yeah, it doesn't work on mobile. You may wait for people to present their case before you. You can copy this link somewhere. You can copy this link somewhere and practice whenever time permits you.
Okay, sir.
Anyone who's able to work, Dr. Mayuri,
Yes, sir. I'm working on it.
Anika, Nidhi, Sarika, Sri Ram.
Sir, I'm also unable to
We are
work
able
on
to
the
work.
simulation.
It doesn't work on your cell phone. It doesn't work
Yes,
properly
sir.
on your cell phone. You need a laptop or a desktop.
Okay.
Did you understand this case? This question is um, for the people who are using cell phones. When I was presenting my screen, did you understand what is a simulation board? What is its utility? Why are we discussing on this?
Yes, sir.
Is it something new that you had not heard of?
So my organization is working on similar lines.
Okay.
Can I explain what we are doing
Yeah.
to?
Please do. Please explain.
We are an organization in manufacturing soda ash. So we are the only plant which is highly commercialized in capturing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and using it for manufacturing process.
Very good. Very good.
In fact, we are the first company in the world to use this technology.
What do you manufacture?
Soda ash.
Okay, so
This,
you
this
trap
soda
the
ash is,
very
yeah,
nice,
we trap the carbon from from our own boiler,
very
and
nice,
we use it in manufacturing of soda ash.
very nice, very nice. Excellent, excellent.
This
So
soda ash is raw material for manufacturing of detergents and soaps.
yes, correct, correct, very nice.
So we capture at least 170 tons per day.
So it's sodium carbonate.
Yeah, yeah. Sodium carbonate is otherwise called as soda ash.
Yeah, yeah,
Correct.
correct, correct. NaCO3.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
NaCl3. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Now, what we have done is to reduce this carbon footprint,
Emission.
we are converting our coal-fired boiler to a biomass boiler.
Very nice.
We are reducing coal.
So you are using bioenergy plus you are utilizing the carbon which you are on.
We have converted our coal-fired boiler into a biomass boiler, full-time biomass boiler.
Very
We
nice.
have stopped using coal.
Very nice. So carbon emission is automatically stopped.
Yeah, yeah. That is one thing.
Very nice, very nice. So this is also a step, right?
One
So you
step.
can, and I think the most relevant parameter for you when I go to this board is that coal.
Yes,
reduce the usage of coal and increase the usage of renewable energy. So that is very applicable and pertinent for you, right?
Yes, yes. And with directly on usage of renewable energy, we have 5 windmills, and we are also planning to install solar energy.
Very nice. Very nice. So you are here. You want to. I'm just making
On
this
the left,
board for you. So
yeah.
you more of renewables, less of coal.
Yes.
Yeah. And one more important for you is there is no new source of carbon for your organization. Correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Right. Very nice. Very nice. So the need to understand this simulation board or this technique or this particular case study is to educate people, is to sensitize people, and to create that awareness that we have to become climate warriors. It's a united fight. We have to put up a fight. We have to show a united fight against this global monster. Meaning, our next training, our upcoming training modules have to have some component, at least a module on sustainable development and climate change, so that people become aware of this concept and they are oriented, they are sensitized, they are educated about this changing concept. Because if businesses don't thrive, if uh, climate change threatens to take away basic human rights, for example, right to live, right to clean water, right to good health, if climate change is snatching away all these basic human rights, then what is the utility or what is the relevance of competencies, skill, knowledge, ability, performance, and all that? Because we are not able to live a good life. So, as trainers, my appeal to all of you is in your upcoming training modules, in your upcoming training sessions, have at least one module, a little bit of content on climate change and global warming. Because we have to become trainers of the day. We have to have, this is our social contribution, this is our social responsibility as trainers. And we are using a simulation board here to understand how things really work. Are you all able to bring it down to 1.3 or 1.2?
Sir, I could do it. It is 1.2 degrees Celsius.
Very nice. Can you share your screen? I'll stop sharing my screen. I will make you the co-host. Just a minute. So you are the co-host now. You can share your screen.
Sir, it says, okay.
Everybody, are you able to understand something new? Or you're feeling bored, outdated? In fact, this is very contemporary. This is very relevant.
Sir, this is what I
Yes.
could do. The only thing I could do is I reduce the usage of renewable resources, because coal, oil, and natural gases are non-renewable, because once they are like exhausted, like the usage of them is done, we can't renew the coal or oil. So I have increased the usage of renewable sources like new zero carbons and renewable resources, nuclear resource, and I have increased the transportation to electrification rather than using more of the energy. And then when it comes to population, the economical growth, I have like kept it like that. Only the population growth, I reduced it, like the lowest growth of population. Then economic growth, I just increased. And coming to deforestation, I did nothing, because that deforestation, it should be zero, and afforestation should be 100%. So this is what I did, and I got 1.2.
I think your carbon price has to come down, because if your carbon price is very high, people will have to pay heavy price for this, because they will have to bear the brunt.
Correct, sir. Yeah, I reduced.
And I think just try with new zero carbon also, because yeah, new zero carbon is fine.
Yeah, it is 1.3, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Mayur. I hope you have understood this concept.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So in your medical field, there is a need to educate people on this burning issue of climate change, and you have to become a climate activist at your personal level. And in your upcoming training modules in your classes, you can be an advanced contemporary trainer to train them on this issue.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, anybody else willing to share your screen? I'll make you the co-host. Anybody else? How many of you find this to be interesting, and how many of you find this to be boring? First question, is it interesting and something new to learn? Simulation board for climate change. Do you find it interesting? Raise your hands, virtual hands. See, these are new training avenues that I'm trying to give you. This is the way forward that I am trying to tell you. This is the way forward. If you want to become advanced trainers, if the world has to accept you, if you want to do something new, this is the way forward. This is an avenue that you can explore. Okay, because I have always been telling you that 1.5 hours that we spend here should be fruitful. You have to have some takeaway. I understand that some sessions are very funny, activity based, fun based, but this activity is quite serious in nature, but it's very engaging. It's need of the hour. It's the need of the hour, and we ought to prepare for this. Okay. And one question to all of you. You can lower your hands now. Thank you, everyone. How many of you find this to be boring, irrelevant, unconnected? You can be frank. Raise your hands. Okay. Prasadji, okay. Any views why it is outdated or irrelevant or probably not very applicable? Prasadji, if you're there. Mr. Prasad.
Sir, I raised this for earlier.
Okay, earlier. Okay. Not now. Okay. Okay, anybody else willing to share your screen? Okay,
So
so
I
what?
can share.
Yeah, please try. You want to share? You want me to make you the co-host?
Yes, if you can, please.
Yeah, you can share your screen now. Okay, we made it 1.2. Good.
What I realized is that most of the things are similar to what Dr. Mayuri mentioned, except one thing that I feel population growth cannot or should not be too low, because a lot of economies around are facing this problem also, that there are not enough young people to even sustain operations in a lot of countries. So we should aim for a low population growth, but it cannot be severely low.
Hmm.
Also, the carbon price, I tried to reduce it, but there is only so much reduction that is possible in this kind of scenario, because the moment you try to reduce it any further, it goes uh, like the temperature variation is too much there. It
Right.
goes on the higher side.
Right. Correct. Anything? What is your take on carbon price?
Yeah, I understand that carbon price should be low,
Low.
because it is used at lot of places, and also for electrification and all, we would need more of it. But in this particular scenario, the because a lot of different factors are at play, it is not really possible to reduce this to a very low.
Hmm.
There has to be a lot of technological advancement for that to happen.
Okay. Right.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. So, what is the learning from from this particular exercise? I want all of you to please give me your views. 3 questions. I want all of you to answer. Question number 1: what did you learn from this exercise? Second, how can you make use of this module, this platform in your profession? Third, can you be global ambassadors for climate change, meaning to conserve or to prevent? So 3 questions. Question number 1: what did you understand? What did you learn? How do you make use of this in your profession? Third, uh, how can this help you to become good ambassadors of climate change? Take your time. I'll give you 5 minutes to prepare, and then you can share your views. Are you all enjoying this session? Are you all feeling connected, engaged? Did you note down my questions, dear participants?
Yeah, 3 questions, correct.
Yeah. So please prepare your answers for these 3 questions. I'll give you some time, say 5 to 8 minutes, and then you can share your answers with all of us. Please take your time. Yes, what did you learn from this exercise? Second question, we are also working on ESG. Yes, link is not opening in my. Jugal Kishore has something, he's made it 1.3. Okay. Okay. Even I have tried to calibrate and play around, It's not possible to get it below 1.3. Even I have tried a lot. Keeping some things constant and maneuvering the other things, it's not very easy. It's not very easy to uh, get it below 1.3.
So I have listed the questions in the chat box, so we just see if it is okay.
Yeah. How can you use this? Do you think you can be a global? Yeah. Yes. Yes. They are right. They
Yeah.
are right. They are right. Now I want all of you to give me your answers for these questions so that you go back with a changed mind. You go back with some learning from today's exercise. You go back with a changed mindset, because training is not uh, only about product skills, soft skills, technical skills. Training goes beyond that. Okay, if your answers are ready, you can share. Jugal Kishore ji. Yes. Yeah, that's your learning. I got it. Anybody else wants to? Anybody else willing to share your views?
Maybe, sir, I have compiled a little bit. So,
Yeah, please share. Please share.
so I really find this method very interesting because in this by this method we can see that the graphical way of results. So if we're doing that's not possible in other type of trainings. Like we can showcase to everyone that if you're depleting the resources or if you're using the resources in a such manner, so such effects can be occur in the environment. So it will be the great impact. So uh, this is the way I found it very useful in our training. And in my profession, what I think I'm working in a manufacturing sector. So we used to do the lot of projects regarding the how to increase the productivity, quality, delivery, cost, energy, and everything. So by this method, maybe we can make a simulation like that. That if you wanted to increase the productivity, what are the key parameters or key things which you have to control, and if you have to increase decrease the cost, how we can do that, and then how to increase the delivery and how to save the energy. So that will be the key topics, and under that maybe there will be same like links over there that how to increase the productivity. So maybe you can reduce the time, and if you wanted to reduce the cost, so you have to reduce the defect. What is the impact of that as a percentage of sale, uh, means something like that, or a beta. So if all these things is comprised in a compressed in a single paper or single slide, so we can show them as in a single
Correct.
screen.
Correct.
That's that comes into my mind that we can use in our day-to-day life or
Yes.
maybe in working side.
Yes. Yes.
And the third question, how to become a global ambassador of global. So I think that it comes through the education, spreading the awareness among the children and everything. So we can create a setup of simulation like that. So we can create an artificial environment where we can show them if you are continue to increase the popular pollution, everything. So we can show them a future through this. So like we can show them a future that if you are still continue depletion of the resources, so there will be a time where you have to pay for oxygen also.
Yes.
So we can show them by this simulation method. So
Yes.
I think it comes through the spreading the awareness among the youth or
Yeah.
children. So
Yeah.
by this method, I can think that I can come a global.
Very nice. Very nice. So this working paper
Yes,
will become a reference point for the next board meeting.
definitely,
Right. So this is these are the changes that we should bring about as responsible trainers, right? Anybody else?
definitely, sir.
Right. Thank you, Rahulji. Thank you.
Yes, sir, I would like to.
Yeah, please share. Yeah, please share your views.
Sir, for the first question, what do I learn from this? So I think, sir, this method allows me to think practically, though we have a heading, but the points that leads to it. So while calculating or giving a certain increased number, I have to consider a lot of other things. Say like if it was population, as Anika said, there are a lot of things. Too much of reduction and too much of increase will not be possible. Or even I have to keep in mind the fertility ratio also that is increasing or decreasing at this moment. So this gives me an insight, though I might have learned a lot of things in books, but it gives me a practical application. When I apply certain numbers, it shows what is dependent on it and what is not dependent on it and how it will reflect in the scores. So this is my takeaway from this exercise. And yes, how I can use this exercise, as just Rahul said, so we are into management where we can realize which I handle quality in my organization. So how a product is performing and various factors, say for instance on cost, benefit and business, how is it going to affect the management and the running of the business. This exercise can be very well representative, and if I change the numbers, for instance, if I'm representing this in meeting, I change the numbers. If I change how the cost increases or the business reduces because of increasing cost of overheads or so that this gives a pictorial representation there and there in the management. So I can use it in my different processes and my specifically from quality point of view, sir. So to represent my data. And yes, I can be a global climate change ambassador. Say, for instance, encouraging carpool in my company. One of the ways, eliminating waste by providing flask, providing bottles which they can use for drinking water. So this can avoid too much of repetitive garbage which is created, since this has no proper disposal. Or even using reusable furnitures, even that is a big, so that we can use in our vicinity. So there are few changes in the lifestyle. And once you set an example, sir, then people follow you. So I think this is my viewpoint about it. Yeah. So you're not audible, sir.
Thank you, Nidhi, for that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I would like to add a bit on Rahul and Nidhi. This is
Please.
Gopal. Yeah. So whenever we just right now we have done a simulation over that the link which you have shared. The thing is, whenever we do some simulation on particular link, this type of link or simulation board, we come to know exactly that what are the parameters which leads to increase in, for example, with respect to the topic, what are the parameters which increases global warming. So I'm just trying to say that whenever we actually decrease or increase some parameters, we come to know that what are the actual areas which are impacting the business or which are impacting the particular global warming. Because whenever a graphical representation is in front of you, that simulator, just a second, I think there is a lot of noise in my house. Yeah, I hope I'm audible now.
Yes, you're audible.
clearly without any disturbance. Yeah.
Yes, you're audible.
So this was so as I'm just trying to say is simulation makes you feel more connected to the action plan. If I'm a sales manager, for example, I'm a sales manager and I'm getting a training in simulation type of training. So whenever I decrease some productivity window, whatever the parameters over there, I really come to know, and it insists me to think that what are the parameters that graphical representation is showing, that if I'm increasing the productivity, how will I get the more productivity? I'm
Right.
just relating that. I'm just try to understand. I'm just relating that. This is
Yes.
the answer of the first question. And in second question, how can we use our trading? I'm currently working in non-banking finance company, and whenever it is an NBFC, the major part in finance company while in a loan is doing first time right. So doing the files correctively with the major correction. So whenever we can prepare one particular board, that these are the documents, which document leads to the FTNR, that is first time not right. And if you want to reduce the first time not right percentage, what actions you have to take? So with the help of this simulation board, definitely it is very effective to understand or to act on it.
Yes.
And to the third question, and answer to the third question, as a brand ambassador, definitely recently I came to know that the house waste, that is our vegetable, our food, is the main source of methane gas, or
Yes.
the
Yes.
exactly, I
Exactly.
think I
Yes.
heard right.
Yes.
Exactly. So government actually in Karnataka, I just taking 2 minutes more, this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
extra gyan which I'm sharing. So government of Karnataka have already started this, that they are working on some hydrogen gas or preparation of methane gas. But the Modi government right now is insisting or giving a subsidy to most of the industrialists to reduce the use to import of that gases or oil from outsides, so that we can add this developed or prepared methane gas in in particular amount in our LPG or CNG, or you can say in any type of gases or oils, so that we can have a profitable and fruitful go
Very,
ahead.
very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice, Wally. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay.
Anybody else? I have a few things to share with you. Is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can our
Yes, sir.
offices, can our offices and buildings be like this?
Yes, sir. I think so. I am from Pune, and I
Yes.
have seen in PCMC
Yes.
that not only the buildings, even the pillars which are below the flyover,
Yes.
they use vertical gardening. I think this
Vertical.
is also there in Bangalore and Mumbai.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is and these the plants which are used, sir. They are one which are capable of handling carbon dioxide and emitting oxygen,
Very
which can
nice.
be used indoors also and outdoors also.
Outdoors. What are the
Yes,
advantages of such buildings? One, the cost of paint comes down. You don't have to paint your building.
maintenance do come down, sir. Uh,
Maintenance, painting, and you don't need air conditioners because the walls don't absorb any heat at all.
yes, sir. And for the for same concept, they started using earthen pot walls also in some
Yes.
of the low raised
Yes.
buildings,
Yes.
which acts as an air condition.
Yeah. So if you're thinking to buy a flat or you want to construct a house, you can have this parameter, or you can have this benchmark. You can follow this model, whereby you can become or we can become ambassadors of climate change.
Sir, I am from also Nagpur. So in Nagpur also when G20 has started that time they also started to do same thing on the pillars of the flyover. All
Oh,
in the
great,
city.
great. Yes. So this is a new trend. So as HR people, our focus should just not be on soft skill training, behavior training, product training. We have to have an outreach. We have to have an extended working area So these are all new things that we ought to get into. Okay. Now quickly another exercise. Um I want you to develop a training module. I want you to develop a training module on climate change. If you were to develop a training module, what components will you have in your module? Suppose I want to invite you as a trainer for climate change. Okay. And I say, tell me what will you teach me or show me your content. Show me your training modules. What stuff will you have with you? I will give you 5 minutes. At least one module you will have to come up with, and this module has to have uh, some briefing on climate change, meaning what is the meaning of climate change? What will you teach people? What will you train people? What is the content of your training? So you have 5 minutes to work on this. I'll be on mute. Go ahead. And then you can just share these are the contents that we want to have or we intend to have. Take your time. Any questions? You have 5 minutes to work on this. Okay, dear friends, any views on this?
I have created little bit one
Yes,
such
yes,
in
yes, yes,
module on. So,
yes, yes, please.
in this module, so we will use the two things. First, the theoretical part in which we will teach that the basics of that, what is global warming, what is CFC, what is air pollution, what is, because they will know about that, what are the things which are impacting, what's the day-to-day activities we are doing that can lead to the pollution or result in climate change. After that, teaching this, then we can use that simulation part where we can show them that if I continue to increase or decrease these things, that you continue to increase the pollution or continue to use the plastic or continue to increase the CFC and the environment, what are the results which can lead to that lead to that situation. So when the person can see the graphical thing, so it will give them a great impact. After that, we will give them a project in the terms of that if in terms of if they will reduce the pollution or they could continue to do something into the environment like a plantation or how if they can continue to use the green energy, and if they can what we can they can help us or to show them a result in terms of carbon content, so how much carbon content they have reduced. So maybe we can link with this, some give them a reward and recognition also with that, so it will motivate the other persons also.
Yes.
So that is my take on the.
Right. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you.
Sir, I made a module where the first one is we would talk about what is a climate change. Then second it would be like causes and effects of climate change. Here we would be using our simulation where we would tell them what are the causes of climate change, what happens with the climate change, what are the main causes, like for example, if we are deforestation, for example, deforestation is happening, so what would happen, what is the cause and what is the effect of it, like what happens to the weather because of deforestation. There is less rainfall, and there's such the weather would be affected. So what happens, so that is we would be talking based on effects and causes. We would talk based on simulation. And finally, what is the influence of climatic change, based on the areas, based on the regions and culture. For example, because of this climatic change, we can just say the temperature at the equator would be more, and also the in the polar regions, the ice would melt, and that would actually there are few places I have studied that they will because of this temperature increase, and the ice has been melted and has become water. There are few places on earth which are like drowned in water. So there are few places which are not seen now. The places which are like outerly as a few countries, there are not seen. So this would be a few effects, and what finally what we can tell them is how we have to based on this. My take here, like what the final day of my this thing would be that I would definitely suggest them in taking action, like to for example, we can go as said, the vertical gardening can be done, and there are few more activities which can be actually implemented, like walking, not using vehicles which emit too much of carbon, and walking, or using cycles. This all can be actually like few examples based on which I just answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anybody else?
I think I can just share what I thought of.
Yes,
so
please.
we can start with again climate change and globalization. So highlighting the meaning of that. Then followed by that, I will go about telling them about some historical data, where we were and where are we now, or where are we heading. And the third thing would be that some major damages, right, that have been done now, and followed by fourth thing should be that what any evident data or anything that has helped any globalization projects that have now added value. So starting from that where we were, then where we are heading, then what damages have been done, then followed by that what things can which are the evident projects that have been done that has helped the earth. And then the fifth thing that I thought was that running them through the activity, that what maybe different solutions, bringing them into awareness is the one thing. So once they are into awareness, they will definitely be able to that what are the solutions. And once we get to know about the solutions, then, as you also showed us that this is happening, right? So this climate change, this link that you gave us. So this is like triggered a thought that yes, this is a good thing to share and it should be done by every trainer, because through us, this is very much possible that every person at least be aware of what is doable in their capacity, they should be able to do. So yeah, triggering this thought.
Right. Thank you. So what we can do is, whenever you get some time, go to your alma mater, go to your schools where you had studied, go to your colleges where you were a student once, ask them for a slot, go and meet the principal, tell them that you are pursuing ISTD PG diploma, and you want to have or you want to contribute for the social cause. Okay, and this is not a commercial request or commercial intent. Ask them for a slot on some day, show them the dangers of climate change, the dire consequences that the next generation is likely to face, we are likely to face if ignored. So go out there, just plant these seeds of conservation, plant these seeds of sow these seeds of climate change on the minds, into the minds of people. And this can be a social cause, this can be a social contribution, and a responsible task by a responsible citizen. So plant the sow these seeds into the minds of people, I mean especially young minds, and contribute back to the nature in some way. And who knows tomorrow, there can be a climate activist, there can be a climate scientist, there can be a forest officer, there can be a person who can really work on these issues for the benefit of everyone. So that's it for today. I hope that this session was a different one. This session was an insightful one, and it has given you glimpses, it has given you something new to learn, to look forward to. Thank you very much. So what did you feel about today's session?
I just want to add one thing, sorry.
Yes,
Right before this session, I was reading one news. My husband only brought the phone and showed me that some solar flares are there and have just happened, and due to which the temperatures are going to rise. And in Maharashtra, it is already rising, and it is going to go up from 48 to 54 as well. It was like when I was reading that news, it was so, terrible reading that.
Scary.
Damage the satellites, it can damage the people who are outside the protective atmosphere of the earth, and it can do so much. So it's like, it was really connecting when you shared the same thing. So it's very absolutely the need of the hour that we also have to, whatever in our capacity we can contribute, we should do.
Yes. Thank you. That's very much the need of the hour, Rupmaji. Thank you. I agree with you. I hope the session has sensitized you. I hope the session has touched your thoughts, your heart, and has made you to think, and has made you to think something on these lines, right? So thank you very much, all of you.
Sir, Ajay here, I sent you a message, sir, in case after the this class. If you can just, I will revert back to you, sir. Yes, sir.
Ajay ji, what you can do is you can go back to your school, you can go back to your college.
No, this I got, sir. This part I have got.
Yes.
Actually, I missed the earlier entire session of today.
Oh,
I just
my God.
wanted to know what are the sir. Sorry for that.
Oh, sorry. In 10 minutes, I cannot summarize everything.
No, you don't have to summarize. If you can tell me the topic itself, I'll try to.
We have worked on a simulation board today. Okay. We have worked on climate change using simulation board. We have understood what changes are, what tweakings, what changes are necessary to our business processes and activities to reduce the overall rise in the climate, and what are our efforts in the direction of global warming, or what are our efforts to bring down global warming or the disasters of global warming? What can we do? What are the various parameters uh, that go into climate change and global warming? This is something that we have discussed for today, like relying on green energy, utilizing more of green energy, renewable energy, reducing crude oil, relying on green sources. All this is something that we have taken up for today's discussion.
Right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. We can end the session here. I hope all of you have learned something new for today.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.